Oh, yeah. I am excited to talk about this Sunday action. Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. That's what it was today. We got one of the best tight end games ever. We got one of the best quotes ever. One of the best quotes I've ever seen. And I don't know, one of the wildest finishes, not ever, because we get wild finishes all the time, but that Bears game.
I missed the quote.
The quote was from Rico Dowdle, who got penalized for giving 3 pumps in the
He only gave 2 pumps.
Oh, right. He said this. I read this in the AP recap. He said, quote, "From my understanding and everything I've learned, we go over stuff like this every week in the meeting room. I definitely think you're supposed to get 2 pumps. Hopefully I don't get a fine." I mean,
I learn new rules every week. I didn't know you could have intentional grounding on a batted ball.
Yeah, that was. Yep. Is that the excuse? Is that
there's no excuse needed. The Bills always beat the Chiefs in the regular season.
Chiefs, are they like in last place yet, or still in third?
They might be in last.
Nah, no way.
They're definitely in not in the playoffs if the season ended today.
Wow, they're not in the playoffs. That's amazing. All right. Anyway, welcome to the show. Dave, who's the biggest winner from today's games?
I mean, how can it not be Brock Bowers? Just based on the number of fantasy points that he put up and the amazing things that he did in the game. There's a bunch of other winners too, but I looked it up before the show. 43.3 PPR points is the highest total, not just for any tight end this year, not just for any wide receiver this year, but for any flex player this year. And I didn't get to quarterbacks yet, but I think there's some quarterbacks that got over 43.3. So an outstanding game for Brock Bowers in week number 9.
I tried really hard to rehearse a bit I was going to do, and I'm just not sure I can talk about this man without cursing. I don't want Thomas to have to go back and redo the video. Just what a glorious return for the best tight end in the world. 12, like anybody who can catch 12 out of 13 Geno Smith targets.
That's
like
pretty
put
good.
the guy in the Hall of Fame. 3 touchdowns, saving his fantasy season all by himself.
I think, Dave, only Jared Goff in week 2 scored more than that. 44 fantasy points with a 5 touchdown game.
I think somebody scored 44 today, didn't they? Caleb Williams?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe.
Caleb had 44.7 today.
Oh, Caleb Williams then. Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers had 2 of the 3 highest scoring games. Now, in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, Brock Bowers had the best.
Thankfully, I have both Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers on my 1-7 Superflex team. So
nice.
That was fantastic.
Here comes the run.
Bowers, if you're wondering, is this the best tight end game ever? According to StatMuse, it is the second best tight end game ever. Kellen Winslow, Sr., had a 44.4 fantasy point game. Oh, you know what? I think that might be standard scoring. I think he might have scored 50 in half PPR. I don't know. He had 13 catches, 144 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think he actually scored more than that. I'm having trouble reading this, but he scored more. 57.4 fantasy points for Kellen Winslow in PPR.
It was the most I felt so bad about being so wrong about Jackson Dart. And he's going to score 30 fantasy points and end up being like QB 8 or 9.
Yeah.
We said it was an incredible week at quarterback, and we probably underestimated it.
We really did.
Yeah. We still have Dak, Darnold, Daniels, Brissett. All right. Heath, who's the biggest loser?
So I don't remember who I sent because all I could think about for the last 30 minutes was Brock Bowers and how thankful I am for him. But I really thought I'll leave that one for Jamie. I'll say Jordan Addison.
Wow.
Because, and this is like a little bit off the radar, but it's the one I sent in. JJ McCarthy starts for the Vikings. JJ McCarthy throws 25 passes. He was not bad. He was good at times.
He was good. No, he was good for most of the game.
But more rush attempts than pass attempts. And we know Justin Jefferson's going to get his. And I think this looks like probably not the same high pass volume Vikings offense when they're playing the rookie, which makes sense. We often see play callers go a little more run heavy when the rookie is under center.
All right. So Jordan Addison with 2 catches for 48 yards on 4 targets in a win at Detroit. Biggest
He
win
had a
of
run too. He had an end around, but it didn't help. It was his worst game since he came off of his suspension.
Okay. Anyway, we got some more winners and losers for you throughout the week, throughout the show. Kimani Vidal is certainly going to be on that. And I saw this great email of the day from Ryan in New Jersey. He basically just wanted to troll his friend, and I'm going to give him the platform to do it. And he says, "Dear Mike, Ian, Kyle, and Bunny, Heath, have you watched yet? Mayor of Kingstown?"
I haven't watched this season. No, I'm a weird kind of guy. Like when I eat food, I go from one item to the other and finish them all at the same time. Whereas my son will eat all of the things he doesn't like as much and save the meat for last. But when I watch shows, I pretty much just watch the show I'm watching until I'm through it. And then I watch the next show. So I don't watch like one episode of one show on Tuesday and then another show on Wednesday.
Okay, fair. Well, he says, "I wanted to share the worst lineup mistake I've ever seen from my buddy in my league."
Was this me?
No, he benched wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, Drake London and T. Higgins, for Roma Dunze. So and Rashir Rice. So great troll. All right. Football fans, bring that playoff energy to your pro football bets all season long. This Pro Football Boost Pack gives you 3 ways to boost your payout on a winning bet. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your boost pack, place any pro football bet, and apply one of the tokens. Make sure to bet up to the minimum stake, odds, and legs specified on the token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. From opening kickoffs to game-winning drives, this Pro Football Boost Pack is your ticket to unforgettable moments this season. Don't wait on the sidelines. Join the action with BetMGM.
So Thomas was in the chat correcting you, and I just wanted to feed into it a little bit. Kellen Winslow had 57.4 PPR fantasy points and 48.2. Shannon Sharp had 46.3. Mike Ditka had 46. There's about a half dozen or more that had more than 44.
Yeah, I was looking at the non-PPR column. This page actually does have the right stats. I had scrolled over to the right and I was not looking at the PPR.
You didn't change your name.
Oh, crap. I didn't change my name because I got it half right. The Giants scored 24 points. I nailed that. All right. Buy or sell. If we are drafting Chargers pass catchers rest of season, Oronde Gadsden, who led the team in receiving today with
5 for 68.
68 yards. There you go. Thank you. Oronde Gadsden would be the first one drafted among all Chargers wide receivers or pass catchers.
Sell.
I'd sell. I think it's still Ladd McConkey is the top wide receiver there. And I think we've got to talk about Keenan Allen as a loser. And he's been a loser now. What is it? Like 4 of the past 5 weeks? He's given us, no, it's 3 of the past 4 with 8.4 or fewer PPR points and 10.8 or fewer in 5 of the past 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind if you want to keep starting him in full PPR as a third receiver, but a lot of people put Keenan Allen in their CBS lineups today. I want to say it was over 75%.
85
started. 85%. I'm glad you got that number. So at least you got one stat right, Adam. I'm proud of you, buddy. But it's low target volume for the second week in a row, and it's an emerging young player who continues to put up nice numbers in Oronde Gadsden, and it leaves Keenan Allen with less to go off of, and maybe he's more of a touchdown-dependent receiver. Remember, all of his big games early in the year, touchdowns. His other big game that came a little bit later on, he scored. He had a lot of numbers along with it, but he scored in that game. I know he'll have some good matchups moving forward, but I think you've got to start to downgrade expectations considerably.
I'll just promise you one thing. As soon as we rank Keenan Allen outside of the top 30, he's going to score a touchdown and about 15 PPR fantasy points.
Well, also, we've gotten 2 wins in a row. One was a blowout win for the Chargers, and we just haven't had the pass volume that we're usually seeing from them. They've been under 30 passes 2 weeks in a row.
Which we
by the way,
about.
Oronde Gadsden with those 68 yards, most yards by a tight end against Tennessee all season. All right, next up, I think we can skip this one. Buy or sell. Brock Bowers is tight end 1 rest of season.
I've got a better one.
Let's hear it.
Brock Bowers will be tight end 1, counting the first half of the season per game.
Oh, per game?
Let's see where he's at right now.
Before you tell me,
The answer is bye.
He's already there by virtue of his 43.3 game. Remember, he only played 4 games before he got hurt. Wow. He is already tight end 1 on a per game basis on the season.
Holy
McBride can overtake him on Monday night. Ferguson could also overtake him on Monday night because those are numbers 2 and 3. But wow, Bowers is pretty incredible.
Next up, buy or sell. Quarterback is so deep that it's hard to have a true edge at the position.
Yeah,
I'll
kind of buy.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know if I have a team. It's like, oh man, I want to trade up. I want to trade to get this guy, Josh Allen. I feel maybe that way about Lamar Jackson because he's been over 32 or 3 points in 4 or 5 starts. But I don't know anyone else that's like that good.
Most of the guys who blew up this week, though, we knew they had great matchups. Not all of them, but most
not all of them, but a bunch of them. Sure. And so that fed into it. Like the top 2 quarterbacks are Caleb and Joe Flacco, and their teams played against each other, and their teams don't have good defenses. So it's a little surprising that they're the top 2 quarterbacks, but it's not surprising that they had a really good week. Stafford played New Orleans. Great matchup. He's 3rd. Geno Smith played Jacksonville. No one was ever starting Geno Smith unless it was a super flex league.
Maybe.
And then guys like Herbert and Jackson Dart, like they had, and Josh Allen too. Yeah, good games. There were 8 quarterbacks with over 30 fantasy points. We talked about it this week that there were a lot of quarterbacks that had the safe floor and the high ceiling, and you really wanted to start the ones that had the high ceiling.
Right, but if you have Joe Flacco, he's got to buy next week, but you're just fine rest of season. Just starting.
Well,
Flacco.
Eventually Joe Burrow theoretically will come back.
Okay,
and that'll be the end of Joe Flacco.
Theoretically, we don't know that.
That's a very big question mark. I think
it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
What about Stafford?
Theoretically,
I think we believe Stafford. I had him like 6th or 7th this week.
Yeah.
This week.
Yep.
Like they continued, except for after the game was already in hand. They just wanted to get Kyron a touchdown. Mm-hmm. They continue to just throw at an extremely high rate inside the 5-yard line. I mean, you have Devontae Adams, you can do that.
Yep. And Puka didn't play the whole game, and he still had a monster. Stafford did.
Okay, one more. Buy or sell. Rome Odunze is falling while DJ Moore is rising.
Boy, was I a week early on doubting him.
0 points for Rome Odunze.
Yeah, my teenager is really mad at me that he started Rome Odunze over DJ Moore.
Yeah,
it's under 6 PPR points for Rome Odunze in 3 of his last 4 games. So this is a pretty big swing from how he started the year.
But you know what, Dave?
What's up, Heath?
Here come the Giants.
Well, but here was Cincinnati. And his quarterback threw for, a ton of numbers. They scored almost 50 points in the game, and Odunze didn't have a catch.
I think I'm starting next week against the Giants.
I'm going to start him too. But if we're going to say we're going to lower expectations for Keenan Allen when Allen is hitting the skids, this is hitting the skids. And he only had 3 targets in the game. I mean, we can go back and watch the film, and maybe Cincinnati just double teamed him a ton. I don't know. But it is going to be difficult to have high expectations for Rome Odunze moving forward.
Who you should double team? Brock Bowers.
Seriously, the Jaguars probably did on a bunch of plays, and it probably didn't matter.
Jaguars won, by the way. Just, letting everyone know. Hey, Jamie.
Yo.
All right, but seriously, guys, are we, Jamie, you haven't spoken yet. So buy or sell, Rome Odunze is falling while DJ Moore is rising.
I'm buying that statement.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to buy it. It's just factual. So just a, overall bad, shitty day for Odunze. Oh, excuse me. For Odunze. He'll bounce back. No big deal. Oh, did I say that? Maybe I did it on purpose because you
said not like that at all. Okay. I didn't do anything to you. I don't know what happened there. All right. We're gonna take a break on that note.
All right, we'll talk about DJ Moore when we talk about the Bears game a little later on.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back with all the news and notes, a lot of news and notes. We'll be right back on FFT.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
News and notes. CJ Stroud left with a concussion in the first half, early in the first half. Let's see. A lot
That's
of
your
guys
fault.
left.
That's your fault.
What? Why?
Because you said on the live stream when Aaron Rodgers hurt his hand that you were going to bench Aaron Rodgers for CJ Stroud because you didn't want your quarterback leaving with injury in the middle of the game.
I know. I know. Yeah, it was bad.
Kind of like I buried Colston Loveland after Cole Kmet was active, and then Cole Kmet got hurt, and Colston Loveland went bananas.
Yeah. A lot of guys left and came back in, but Samaje Perine left after a kickoff. He barely played. And Aaron Jones left with a shoulder injury. He says he's fine. He expects to play next week against Baltimore, but we'll see about that. We've heard that before, like from Terry McLaurin. Wide receiver news. So Brian Thomas Jr. was a late one. He left with an ankle injury. Tough year for Brian Thomas Jr. He wasn't really doing much before that, unfortunately. Puka Nacua left, came back. T. Higgins left in the fourth quarter. I don't know if he's going to be in the concussion protocol, but they have a bye, so assume Higgins should be back for the Pittsburgh game in week 11. Justin Jefferson left and came back. Matthew Golden, though, did not. He left with a shoulder injury. He was ruled out. Kayshon Boutte left with a hamstring injury. He was ruled out in the first half. Darius Slayton left in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure if he came back, but that was really late, and that was right after he had a touchdown knocked out of his hands. And then some news. Philadelphia, according to Adam Schefter, not expected to trade A.J. Brown. And also ESPN reporting that Jalen Waddle is unlikely to be traded. And there was a report this morning that Terry McLaurin, they have a week 12 bye. He might, it's a shame because McLaurin would have Detroit and Miami and then a bye. He may not come back for week 13, which is Denver, and then Minnesota. So you might not have McLaurin for a while.
Are you sure Puka came back? Because I don't remember him coming back.
I didn't either.
Oh, you know what? He came back to the sideline. I don't know if he came back in the game, but after the game, they said he felt that he could have come back in the game.
But it's a rib injury, according to McVay.
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm sorry about that. He was on the sideline, and I think I can find the quote, but I think McVay expressed optimism that he'd be able to come back. But again, we'll see. Tucker Kraft may have a serious knee injury. That's the big one this week. So not good there. And Cole Kmet left just before halftime. But the thing is, Cole Kmet was actually barely playing. Even when Cole Kmet was healthy, Colston Loveland had about a 75% route rate, which is much higher than what we usually see from him. He didn't do that much until Cole Kmet left, but he was, on the field a lot. There's a lot of offensive line news. Detroit offensive guard Christian Mahogany could miss most of the rest of the season. Both Chargers offensive tackles left with injuries, and Alt might have a serious ankle injury. And I'll leave it at that because there's too much.
The Chiefs had about 3 offensive linemen get hurt.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they have a bye, so good timing
hopefully
there. Christian Gonzalez left with a head injury, and linebacker Christian Ellis left with an injury for New England. San Francisco rookie defensive lineman Michael Williams left with maybe a torn ACL. Tough one there. And Buffalo lost a defensive lineman, and that's about it. All right. Early waiver wire. Jamie, any headliners? I'm sorry to put you on the spot for that. For the early waiver wire.
Luke Musgrave.
Yeah. How about Parker Washington?
Parker Washington, yeah.
Singletary.
Singletary.
Oh. What's that all about?
Seriously.
So Parker Washington, Luke Musgrave, Devin Singletary, maybe Michael Penix. I think they have a good matchup next week.
The Colts, yeah.
Penix had a nice game today with
Pierce.
Yeah, what do you make of that, Michael? But what do you make of the Pierce had a big game. They all kind of had a lot of targets. Well, him and Pittman specifically because they were trailing and whatnot. But what do you make of that, Jamie?
I mean, it was a great matchup. The Steelers secondary obviously had not been playing very well, and Pierce. It was funny. I thought he might get his first touchdown. He didn't really need it to have a big day, but I thought he might get his first. I played him in a bunch of DFS leagues. I thought he was a good sleeper for this week. It's just one of those situations where I think on a matchup based scenario, and depending on what we see from Daniel Jones bouncing back from this game, but this was as bad as the Colts have looked all season, clearly. And I would be surprised if they continue to play. Just the offensive line was terrible. for them. One more guy, obviously, obvious. Colston Loveland's a waiver wire guy, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's Cincinnati, right? But
well, we had, I know Dave was very high on Loveland when he was coming back from his injury. Going prior to their bye week, after their bye week, kept saying stash him. We said on Tuesday he was my favorite tight end to pick up for this week because of this matchup. And so I don't know if you want to say we got lucky that he played this way because of the Kmet injury or just because of the matchup, but this was, I think they've been wanting to get him going. We talked about that. His route participation was more involved in things of that nature. So we'll see how it progresses moving forward. And again, they get the Giants this week, so it's not like you want to not have him on your team.
Okay. Well, that brings us
career highs in literally everything. So I think it's kind of clear that Colston Loveland's going to be more involved now.
Yeah, well, yeah, again, according to True Media, he ran 22 routes in the first half and Cole Kmet ran 4. Was that because Kmet was banged up coming into the game? I don't know, but Loveland was on the field. He was their starting tight end, and he was their primary tight end. All right, so that brings us to the winners and the losers. Yeah, he sure did. So Jamie's winners were Colston Loveland and T. Higgins. 7 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 targets. Big game for Higgins, Jamie.
It was great. Listen, Joe Flacco obviously brings out the best of these guys, similar to what Joe Burrow does for these guys. So, we were a little concerned about what this would be with the shoulder injury and how he would hold up. And, 400 yards later, he held up just fine. So you hope nothing changes coming off their bye week. And we just continue to get the best of what we thought we were going to get at the start of the season. It's just different quarterback getting the job done.
Okay, Dave, your winners are Rico Dowdle, 25 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, started in 68% of leagues. Dowdle also had 2 catches for 11 yards at Green Bay. Tough matchup, and he came through big time. And Dalton Kincaid, who had 6 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown on 6 targets against the Chiefs. I had said, with Heath earlier in the week, he had easy matchups all year. Finally was going to have a tough matchup, and he aced it. So Dowdle and Kincaid are your winners.
I think there are no doubt starts from here on out. Dowdle certainly, I think the Panthers realize that he's a no doubt start moving forward because he was so good. And I don't know what Dave Canales was thinking, not using him more the prior 2 weeks, but enough about that. Went into Green Bay, tough place to play, shredded him. So it's 3 games now that he's gone up against NFL. I mean, 1 good defense and then 2 not so good defense. And he shredded in all 3. 28 or more fantasy points in those games when he's getting an opportunity. I don't see how you keep him out of lineups. And then Dalton Kincaid, 14 plus PPR points in 4 of 7, including 2 of his past 3, a humongous factor this week against Kansas City. And I just think that he's probably the best downfield target that Josh Allen's got. And if there's any game where Josh Allen is going to have to throw, this is an easy must start. And he's probably going to be started in leagues anyway, even if there's matchups moving forward where you look at it and you go, oh, yeah, this is going to be a James Cook game. He'll still be a low-end starter for your fantasy team. He's that good.
Yeah. Fun fact, James Cook had 1 more carry than Josh Allen had pass attempts. Cook had 27 carries. Allen had 26 pass attempts. And Kincaid still had a great game. Shakir led the team in targets with 8.
Have the Dolphins allowed any tight end touchdowns lately? Because that's who Kincaid plays next.
So on Dowdle, I think the only thing that would jump out to me as a red flag would be facing Tampa Bay and Seattle in weeks 16 and 17. But
we said the same thing about Green Bay.
I was about to say that. So what's preventing Rico Dowdle from being a league winner?
Dave Canales being a moron.
I think Dave Canales figured it out, and kudos to him for, again, he could have easily continued with the same split. It's not like, right? Did they lose? No, they lost to Buffalo. So they went 1-1 in the 2 games the first 2 games that Chuba Hubbard came back. But I mean, look, they paid Chuba. He was their guy before the injury. He recognized that Rico Dowdle was clearly the better of the 2, and he made the decision to go with him, and it paid off. This is a non-factor team throwing the ball at this point. Like, they're not even trying. They're just going to run the ball as much as they possibly have to. So if they are able to stay in games, this is going to be the game plan. And you're going to look at, Rico Dowdle is getting probably 20 plus touches on a week-to-week basis if that holds up.
Yeah. I think
they had some offensive line issues throughout the game today too. Guys coming in and out. due to injury. So didn't really matter.
I think you just said, though, maybe the one thing that could hold them back would be if they can't stay in games. But, they're not bad. They're not bad.
Well, I mean, look, Rico Dowdle's a league winner next week.
He faces New Orleans next week, and he faces New Orleans again later in the year.
Yeah.
All right. Heath, your winners are Joe Flacco, who scored 38.8 fantasy points in 6-point per pass and touchdown leagues and threw his customary 47 passes. And Kyle Monangai, wow, 26 carries, 176 yards, 3 catches, 22 yards in that dream matchup at Cincinnati. Flacco and Monangai.
The number one quarterback in fantasy points per game is Joe Flacco on the Bengals. Now, 29.95 fantasy points per game for Joe Flacco playing for the Bengals, as averaging 27 coming into this game. I never thought that I would be saying this, but I think in a one quarterback league, you have to hold Joe Flacco through the bye.
Yes.
Which is insane, but it's true because he has Jamar Chase and he has T. Higgins and he throws the ball 40 times a game. And it's awesome, even if he turns the ball over too much and loses the game. We just talked about Rico Dowdle. Kyle Monangai just did the best Rico Dowdle impersonation I've ever seen. And he may get one more week without DeAndre Swift. And guess what?
Here come the Giants.
Here come the Giants.
Yeah.
He might just do it again. So I don't know that he can take the starting job from Swift like Dowdle did, but it's at least a possibility now.
At the very least, you got to feel like Swift is a little bit of a loser here, right?
Well, it was a 50-50 split in their last game. And I think that's probably what you would expect moving forward. Now, that's fine next week against the Giants. Just start them both. But we've been talking about this for 6 weeks, at least. The Bears' schedule late in the season is terrible for running the football. And that's why we were saying, if you've got enough wins, sell DeAndre Swift. And so I think he might be a 1-week winner, but he's a big winner.
Who are those teams again?
I got it.
Bears. You got
Giants at the Vikings, Pittsburgh, at Philadelphia, at Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, at San Francisco. That's a brutal stretch, starting with probably at Philadelphia, at Green Bay, Cleveland, and then Green Bay again. And I know Rico Dowdle just did what he did to Green Bay, but they've had a good run defense for much of this year.
Yeah, I just, when we start to get with all the injuries and what we see from the NFL at this point, like I don't disagree with the thought of selling high on Swift or Monangai, depending on which direction you want to go with it. But I wouldn't panic sell them because of the schedule.
Okay, let's go to our losers. Heath had Jordan Addison, who we talked about earlier, and Jordan Love, who is 98% rostered, 69% started, and just did not get in on the fun of today was National Quarterbacks Day. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of that, but Jordan Love was not invited to the party.
Today was his birthday.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's a
no.
really
What a
bad
shitty birthday.
I would not have called him a loser if I had known it was his birthday. But I thought really for most of this year, and really even today, like the interception was bad. But there's just been several games like this where Jordan Love, like the efficiency numbers look okay, but he doesn't get the touchdowns and the production looks bad. And I think we thought this was going to be a low pass volume game for Jordan Love because they were supposed to be playing ahead against the Panthers. Then they lose to the Panthers. He throws 37 passes and he still gives you a bad fantasy day.
So drop him, hold him.
I don't know that we're going to be able to drop him.
Well, it's Philadelphia next week.
They are against the Eagles next week.
So there's no way you're starting him.
This is the worst game he's had all season, over 30 pass attempts. So we can't say it was a lack of volume.
Well, he'll probably throw 30 times against the Eagles.
You would think, and you always like this was a prototypical trap game for them. Looking ahead to Philadelphia, most likely Carolina in their building. They probably thought they're just going to, show up and, oh my God, hey, now we're in a ball game and now you have to, fight your way out of it. And so I would guess he bounces back, but I just kind of feel like he's in that group of quarterbacks. Like if you tell me Purdy's healthy next week and that's the choice I can make, I probably pivot to Purdy.
Let's not forget, he just lost arguably his best receiver, maybe for the season, in Tucker Kraft. Yeah. And that's his yak guy. I mean, he lost Matthew Golden today too. So
is Watson okay?
Yeah, he came. He
left and came back, but I didn't know if they said anything after the game.
I didn't see anything on that. Dave's losers, Tyrone Tracy Jr. and and Keenan Allen, who you discussed. Tracy had 5 carries for 18 yards and 3 catches for 19 yards.
So through the first 3 quarters of the game, Tyrone Tracy actually played more snaps than Devin Singletary. He wasn't very efficient on them in the first half. I think he had like a couple of decent runs in the third quarter. But by the time they got to the fourth quarter, the Giants were all in on Singletary. Singletary dominated snaps in the fourth quarter. He only had a couple runs in the fourth quarter. Singletary did. He had the better day overall efficiency-wise. But one of the things that we talked about in the lead up during the week with Tracy was that having Jackson Dart under center made the situation different for him than what he had last year. And that even came out true in the game. Dart ran for a touchdown that might have gone. I don't know if it would have gone to Tracy because Singletary ended up playing a lot, but Dart definitely changes the tenor of this offense and what's available to running backs not named Cam Scadaboo. And I know he's got Chicago next week. Seems like a favorable-ish matchup. He's going to be sharing a lot more than we thought he would be with Devin Singletary.
All right. Singletary's 10% rostered. Jamie's losers are Kimani Vidal and Kimani Vidal.
Yeah. Shitty start of the week for me.
Dude, come on. I mean, come on. We're a family show here. Come on now.
Last one. Yeah, it was bad call. Bad performance. Just really frustrating to see that unfold the way that it did. So hopefully he'll bounce back, but this is the, fear for a guy that, is a backup running back and a team that's going to get pass happy at times. And when they got down early, they seemingly got away from the run. So it just sucked. Absolutely sucked.
And Jarrett Patterson ended up running out the clock for them at the end. So next week against Pittsburgh, top 24 guy.
Yes.
All right. Kimani Vidal, that is. All right. Those are our winners and losers. And I think we covered them, right? Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's go through, I don't know, anything big at the goal line here. It was a lot of Woody Marks. Woody Marks had a really bad game. Dave, I don't know if you have the exact numbers of who was on the field inside the 5, inside the 3, but it was really a lot more Marks than Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
Marks, he's just not having a good season. It's like he's not running the ball well at all. And he just had a terrible game.
I've got him with his highest snap share of the season, though. And he left with an injury for part of the game.
Oh, well, that's good. New England, Terrell Jennings had
good.
It's good that not that he left with an injury. It's good that he had his highest usage of the season, his best usage of the season. Terrell Jennings, that was a bleepy thing for me to say. Terrell Jennings scored the goal line touchdown for New England. Tony Pollard got the direct snap at the 1-yard line, but didn't score. Then he got stuffed at the goal line. A lot of Jalen Warren at the goal line. That was good to see. Mm-hmm. And Bajal, not necessarily a great day for ETN because Bajal Tootin was working at the goal line. They both were, but Bajal Tootin scored a goal line touchdown there.
Juwan Jennings should have had a second touchdown, but they missed a clear pass interference that prevented him from catching it.
Well, then it wouldn't have been a touchdown, right?
It would have been a touchdown. He would have caught it, but the defender grabbed a hold of him and wouldn't let him turn around to catch it.
Oh, it was a great play then. They didn't call it?
Nope.
Great
ETN
play.
had direct snap at the goal line.
Yep.
He did. They both were
half too.
All right. And then some almost touchdowns. We had Bijan with an almost touchdown. Jonathan Taylor. Oh, Tyler Warren was wide open in the end zone, but the ball was batted down at the line of scrimmage.
That happened a few times today.
Kelsey, yeah. Tedero McMillan dropped a touchdown. Nico came up a yard short of a touchdown. Hunter Long dropped a potential touchdown, but then Trevor Lawrence ran it in on the next play. Romo Dunze dropped a touchdown. Oh, yeah. So Romo Dunze, Dave, you mentioned he's had 3 bad games in his last 4. One of them he had a touchdown called back. This one he dropped a touchdown. Was not a great throw. It would have been basically been like a 1 catch for 3 yards and a touchdown. Still horrible, but not as bad.
Not good.
Darius Slayton, thanks again. He had an unbelievable pass from Jackson Dart in the end zone, had it just knocked out of his hands. It's 2 weeks in a row he hasn't scored on play he probably should have scored on.
Shocker.
First one wasn't not his fault. Jamar Chase dropped a touchdown. Andre Yosheva should have had a touchdown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown came up short. ARSB had 2 almost touchdowns on the same possession. All right, we're going to take a break and recap every game when we come back on Fantasy Football Today.
What's he like? The happy-faced killer?
You mean my dad? Be glad you never have to know.
You think that you're so much better than me. You're just like your old man.
I'm not like you at all.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Carolina 16, Green Bay 13. We talked a lot about this game. We might skip it, but Heath, what do we got?
Romeo Doubs is going to be a must-start wide receiver with Tucker Kraft out.
Believe it in 3 receiver leagues for sure.
Yeah. Top 30 receiver at minimum for sure.
All right, and Golden leaving with the shoulder injury. Christian Watson is 66% rostered. How are we feeling about Tyrone McMillan? 4 catches for 46 yards on 6 targets on a day where Bryce Young only threw 20 passes for 102 yards.
I think Jamie's already answered that question 3 times on the show.
No. No, he hasn't.
I can say it again if you want.
Oh. But at the same time, he had like 44% of their receiving yards and he had, 30% target share. Something like that. So, right. It's kind
He was shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah. It's reminding me of Major League right now. So, okay. I guess I'm making the case that he actually had an encouraging game, Tyrone McMillan, because of the low pass volume in his role.
I think when we're in week 9 and we're having must-start players have encouraging games, it's not the greatest situation. Like we don't need participation trophies right now. We need wins.
Mm-hmm. No moral victories in fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, if you ever saw my trophy case, you would know that some people do need participation trophies.
Yeah, listen, I mean,
a lot of them.
You want to get sometimes participation trophies, but not when it comes to your starting fantasy receivers. Like, I think you know, if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing McMillan and Doubs next to each other. Like, that's the stat line you want for Tyrone McMillan.
It was 7 catches, 91 yards on 10 targets.
Didn't we get that last week?
Yeah, with a different quarterback.
Yeah. Good point. No, this was Carolina taking control with the run. And every chance they get to do that, they will do that. And that's never going to be good for McMillan. I don't know how many people thought that Rico was going to dominate like this against Green Bay, in Green Bay.
No.
I don't think we are sitting Tyrone McMillan in week 10 against the Saints.
All right. Next up, we've got Minnesota 27, Detroit 24.
Jameson Williams is back.
Don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
It's a great touchdown catch he had, though.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah. Heath, do you believe it?
You know, I tried so hard this morning because our team's so bad to reverse jinx Jameson Williams into a good game, and he did it, and it still didn't help our team because we're terrible.
The team is horrible.
No, I think this is what he is. Like, we've got a collection of about 8 of these guys that are really nice boom bust flex options, especially if you start 3 wide receivers. And maybe they'll give you a game every 4 where they score 15 fantasy points. And we got that one from JMO in this one.
All right. So JMO he came through. What was his start percentage here? It was 34%, understandably. Look, this was the first time Jared Goff threw more than 29 passes in 6 or 7 games. He threw 37. Anything else here? Good game for Laporta. Would you sell Laporta?
Laporta had a great start. He had like 71 yards through the middle of the first half, and then was pretty much forgotten about for the remainder of the game. He could have had like one of those monster tight end games this week. I mean, he did, but like he could have been like right behind Bowers. He might be right behind. I don't know where the hell he is in the rankings for this week, but like he could have had like 140 yards and 2 scores. Like he was just crushing Minnesota.
Yeah, the first drive was 2
huge catches. He scored, right? Yeah, 2 big catches.
I think like who's buying Laporta, Adam, with what tight ends have done this year?
The Tucker Kraft manager.
That's fair.
Yeah, but you're right. Are you expecting an up and down season for the rest of season for Laporta?
You have to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just who he is. You know, listen, last year at this time is when he started to get hot, so hopefully that'll be the case again. But you have to just this is the Chargers, the teams that have just lots of multiple options, that it's not everybody's going to get production consistently on a week-to-week basis. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
All right. Goff was under pressure a ton. You talked about the offensive line. Tate Ratledge was in and out. Taylor Decker was in and out. And Minnesota, Minnesota really did a good job of getting to Goff. They sacked him a bunch of times. So good stat line for him, just not his best game. They also did an amazing job attacking Jahmyr Gibbs. And the Lions kind of got away from that. A little bit was because they had to. They fell behind in the game. But I don't see this as a typical Lions output. Generally, Goff's going to be around 30 pass attempts. Generally, St. Brown will still dominate target share like he did today. The running backs will do more, much more Gibbs than Montgomery. And so it's really hard to buy into like consistency from JMO and Laporta rest of season, even though they had great games today.
Next game is New England 24, Atlanta 23. Great game, great finish.
Talk about JJ McCarthy or anybody.
I was gonna say, did you guys cover McCarthy already?
We did not. And I thought
we talked about his pass volume.
Yeah, not high pass volume, but I thought he played really well. He got sacked a couple times too, but just the fact that he had both his starting tackles for 4 quarters was a really good thing. And there's a lot of encouraging signs from him. I know that the stat line wasn't great for Jordan Addison. I'd still feel okay starting him. Jefferson was pretty good, all things considered. I think there's room for growth here from Minnesota. And I thought that Aaron Jones was far and away the best runner for Minnesota. He like basically dominated playing time in the first half. There's definitely going to be a question about how many passes McCarthy will have to throw if Aaron Jones isn't there this coming week.
Okay. I thought he played well. I wasn't trying to say anything bad about JJ McCarthy when I called Addison a loser. It's just
I know.
But Addison played 3 full games and he's thrown 20, 21, and 25 passes.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to continue. The slow pace will continue, and that's going to be a problem.
I would think it's going to continue until they're, chasing points. Like if their defense is playing this well, I don't think Kevin O'Connell wants to put McCarthy in those type of situations yet.
Okay. So they've got Baltimore at home next week. Got a feeling they're going to be chasing points there.
Yeah, but we said the same thing today, though.
We
they
did.
Were 8.5 point underdogs.
Yeah. Chicago the week after that, I don't know if he's going to throw a ton.
All right.
We'll see.
Shall we move on?
I'd love to.
All right. Let's go to Atlanta and New England, with New England getting that 1-point win, 24-23. Heath?
Mike is dismayed that I forgot to pick my shirt up at the office this week. Sorry, Mike. Drake May is the only fantasy starter on the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, I was encouraged by Travion Henderson today.
You want to know, Adam? You can answer this one. When did Travion Henderson look at his very best today?
Running to the outside.
I'm guessing it was outside runs.
To the outside. And how many times do you think he ran to the outside in this game?
4.
Maybe less.
Oh, how many?
I don't know. I said maybe less. I don't have the numbers, so maybe you've got the numbers.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I. But he had 2 back-to-back 7-yard runs to the edges. And I'm sitting there watching going, why don't they do this all the time? They ran him between the tackles a ton. And Jennings, I thought, was better doing that than Henderson was. Not that either one was amazing at it. But it's encouraging. He played 75% of the snaps, had a couple of catches early on. I wish they had done a little bit more of that. 6 targets was great. 4 catches, 32 yards. I don't know. I don't know how much they missed Ramondre Stevenson in this game.
Oh, they didn't miss him at all.
They could get by with Henderson and Jennings if they really wanted to.
And there was a
mention for the rest of the year. I mean, but to answer Heath's question, Jamie, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can go with this. But to answer Heath's question, if Ramondre Stevenson comes back, you're not going to feel good about starting Travion Henderson.
No, clearly.
No, you're not going to feel good about starting any Patriots running back at all.
There was a report that maybe Stevenson's on the trade block. And so you wonder if something happens ahead of Tuesday's trade deadline, because that was some speculation. Like when he first missed practice on Wednesday, is he actually hurt, or were they, shopping him and holding him out? So we'll see. I'd be surprised if they traded him, but you never know just based on what this game showed you. Henderson had 6 PPR points in the first quarter, so clearly he did not finish as strong as he started. But there's clearly encouraging signs, and if he's going to be the lead guy, then there's startable potential for him. It's just the receiving core. It's hard to trust. I'll go back to what I said the last couple of weeks. this is going to be this offense. There's going to be a guy every couple of weeks that will pop up. Douglas is kind of in the middle of his hot stretch right now. Diggs had his 3-game stretch. Hunter Henry was good at the start of the season. It's very reminiscent to what Josh McDaniels had with early Tom Brady. I'm not making the comparison to Drake May and Tom Brady, but the way the offense is operating, there's just multiple guys, no go-to guy, and the quarterback is playing very well as a result of it.
Well, I mean, the obvious corollary between Brady and Drake May is Josh McDaniels.
I just said that, yes.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I was paying attention and I heard that. I want to see how many yards and catches. Did you talk about Demario Douglas with and without Kayshon Boutte?
No.
I'll get back to you on that. I want to know how many catches he had without Boutte on the field.
All right. Drake London, 9 catches, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Number 1 wide receiver. Buy, sell, hold. Drake London.
Hold.
Definitely
hold or buy if you can, but you got to pay a lot for him.
Yeah, no question. The first two touchdowns, Atlanta was very clever. They ran pick plays and they got him matched up against Marcus Jones, who's like 5'9" and maybe like 180 pounds, maybe. So Drake London could just sky for him for these passes like he does against almost everybody. But it wasn't Christian Gonzalez. And then Gonzalez got hurt and missed the fourth quarter of the game. And so London
the catch that London had on Gonzalez when he got hurt was insane.
It was awesome. Yeah, London had an amazing game.
Yeah.
All right, Chicago 47, Cincinnati 42. Bonanza.
We've talked so much about this game, so let's go back to Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland is a top 12 tight end from this point forward. Not counting this game, from this point forward.
Don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time believing it.
Yeah.
But at the same
still
time,
be picking him up, though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he's
start him against the Giants.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't even know how much to buy into Caleb Williams right now. Caleb Williams coming off 2 crap games in a row and 3 of his last 4. And we knew this was going to be great. This is the Bengals bump. You get the Cowboys bump in the NFC, you get the Bengals bump in the AFC. So
for the Bears, you get both bumps.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, look at his season. I mean, it's been 37 points against Dallas, 45 points at Cincinnati. And I'm not saying he hasn't had any good games other than that, but he's only had one other game better than 22 points. So what do you think Caleb Williams will average rest of season?
21.
21?
Yep. 21's a good number.
All right.
Yeah.
For the Bengals.
That might be QB 16.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Chase Brown.
9 less than Joe Flacco.
Chase Brown had 8 catches today. I think he was
89. 9 or 10.
89% started Chase Brown. So I think people are just going to keep starting him while Flacco is there.
Sure.
And that'll do it for that game. Denver 8.
Do you want the Douglas numbers with Boutte out?
Sure.
3 catches, 83 yards. So
nice.
Almost all of his yardage when Kayshon was out of the game.
All right. Denver 18, Houston 15.
This game was so gross.
Yes.
We gave up on Dalton Schultz too soon.
That's the best you can do.
Oh, yeah. You want me to talk about Cortland Sutton's one catch for 30 yards and a touchdown?
Yeah, it has to be that one. Come on.
Why? We were all worried about. We all downgraded Cortland Sutton. It was a terrible matchup. So his defenses are awesome.
Yeah.
We ready to buy low on him?
Buy low on Sutton.
Yes.
Raiders, Chiefs, buy. Up next for Denver. So
I talked about that this morning. Sutton has some really good matchups after that bye. You might be a little worried about Kansas City, not the Raiders. You might be a little worried about Kansas City, then the bye, but Washington, Las Vegas, Green Bay, Jacksonville after that. So Sutton probably will be good down the stretch. This was a predictably low scoring game. All right. So I'll entertain Heath's believe it or not. Guys, believe it or not, we gave up on Dalton Schultz too soon.
He's better with Nico.
I mean, we obviously did. I just don't know who wants to start him, given the tight end landscape and who's going to be on waivers this week at tight end.
He's definitely already on waivers. I think, to Adam's point, the Tucker Kraft manager is going to be searching for something. And he really has only had one bad game. And the one bad game was the one we propped him up. And so, if you're hoping for 8 to 10 PPR points, he's going to live in that range, most likely. But now you have C.J. Stroud banged up. You're going to trust Davis Mills. I know they're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville obviously just got destroyed by a tight end. So don't expect him to be Brock Bowers. But clearly there's an opportunity there. Now, Devin Lloyd did not play in that game, so take that into account as well. So we'll see. I mean, I think like I already did my tight end rankings, just the sketching out of it for week 10, and he's not in the top 12.
Yeah, not a surprise. Okay. Believe it or not, RJ Harvey has to be considered at least a bye week replacement running back.
Yeah. Yes, in games I think where you know they're going to struggle to run the ball, he's now been involved in the passing game for each of the last 2 games.
He has a touchdown, at least one in each of his last 3. Just not getting
a bye week replacement flex.
All right. Next game. Good job, Nico Collins. It could have been better, but Davis Mills threw for 137 yards on 30 pass attempts.
Right. Awesome. I mean, everything kind of went sideways when Davis Mills came in the game.
Next game. Here we go. Next game. Pittsburgh 27, Indianapolis 20.
Believe it or not, Daniel Jones broke Adam's Halloween rule by turning back into a pumpkin after Halloween.
That's clever.
He was horrible. Yeah. What do you guys think? Go ahead. Believe it or not.
No, I think this is really interesting because he is such, and Jamie's talked about this earlier in the year, such clear splits in Indianapolis and out of. He's averaging about 17 fantasy points per game away from Indianapolis, 26 fantasy points per game in Indianapolis. His upcoming schedule against the Falcons in Berlin, bye week, at Kansas City, at home against the Texans, at Jacksonville, at Seattle.
Well, I'll take it one step further because he does have one good road game and it was in a dome. So it might be indoor-outdoor for him, getting the chance to play.
Well, the Berlin one is the only one that's in a dome.
So, I mean, look, Atlanta's obviously not been the same defense the last couple of games. So we'll see if he's able to conquer that. But I don't know what happens to their offensive line. One of the best lines in football just fell apart today. Now, give the Steelers credit. They've been getting shiitake mushroomed on for the last, month. And, everybody thought that they're just terrible. And they came out and they played an unbelievable game today. And, 3 interceptions, forced fumble on a strip sack for Daniel Jones. He, couldn't hold on to the football. But really, it was more about Jonathan Taylor. I think shutting him down was, great effort by that defense. I would probably say that, Jones falls into that category of where we probably should consider him of a maybe start, not a must start. But when he's at home in a favorable matchup, he should be a must start.
Couldn't it also boil down to what type of pass rush he's going up against? And, playing into what you said about the offensive line, like the Steelers got after him. And so
the Steelers pass rush has really been non-existent.
I know, but this week it wasn't. TJ Watt had a sack. Highsmith had 2. Like
the thing I thought about when I was watching that game, though, is like it's just so dumb that the Steelers have been so bad defensively because they have like 4 or 5, or at least 3 great players. Mm-hmm. And those great players just played great in this game.
They did. 5 sacks of Daniel Jones. And Adam will know better than anybody that when he's under pressure, he's terrible. That's what he was today.
Okay. What do you guys make of DK Metcalf? 2 catches for 6 yards. Just a bad game for him and kind of a weird season for him.
They need another receiver.
They definitely need another receiver.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I still feel like DK Metcalf's still just a number 2 receiver that I'm going to start most weeks.
Yes.
I'm not going to start Parker Washington over him at this point,
You might if Brian Thomas is out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Parker Washington had a really good game, even before Brian Thomas got hurt. So I think Thomas played most of that game. All right, Chargers.
Hold on. Who are you starting next week? DK Metcalf or Tedoroy McMillan?
Probably DK.
Matchups, please.
Chargers.
McMillan has the Saints.
Pittsburgh is at the Chargers.
Probably McMillan.
Yeah.
Olave, on the other hand, I don't know about him. All right, we'll get to that soon. Let's go to the Chargers, aforementioned. Chargers 27, Titans 20. An early pick 6 kept this one close. And what do we got for this game, Heath?
I got a text message after the punt return. Isn't it weird in one of our leagues I didn't get any points for that DK touchdown? So like go make sure those settings are on so people get points for punt return
You're
touchdowns.
talking about Shimray, DK.
Yes.
Is there another DK?
All of the
DK Metcalf.
Well, he didn't return any punts today.
Yeah,
He hasn't returned punts in years.
All of the Titans can be dropped because they're on bye.
Ooh.
Bye.
Yeah,
Believe it. This is a different game.
I believe.
And they have the Texans next week, so you can drop them even harder.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
Tony Pollard's still 91% rostered. Tyjae Spears 80% rostered.
Hold on. Do you want to hold Pollard through the trade deadline just in case? I mean, you can do that anyway.
The trade deadline will
It's
be
Tuesday,
before
right.
waivers run.
Right. Well, in most leagues, yes.
Yeah, good call. If you don't have waivers, then wait till 4 p.m.
Don't spike drop them before you make an ad drop. Like there are certain people that like to drop players before they make their ad.
Right.
So
drops.
then they can add 6 players on Wednesday and decide which ones they want to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that. So on the other side, you can see I changed, if you're watching on YouTube, I changed my name to I finally sat Quentin Johnston, which
Good.
I did.
Thank you.
3 of
I'm going to sit Keenan Allen for everybody next week.
Yeah. So that was frustrating, but I'm happy to see him bounce back. And do you think that there is any predictability at all on a week-to-week basis for this passing game?
None.
0.
None.
Justin Herbert's good. That's what's predictable.
Yeah, Heath said it during the week. You just start them all, unless you have all of them. You don't want to start multiple in the same league. But if you have them on your fantasy team, look, Gadsden was good again, 11 PPR points. This was Quentin Johnston's game.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
All right. San Francisco 34, Giants 24.
We have a George Kittle problem.
One more week.
Man, that's kind of what I thought
Purdy
coming into
comes
this
back,
game
I
against
think
the
that's
Giants.
Well, 24 pass attempts, right? That's always the first thing I look at because this team was leading the NFL. This team and the Chargers. And I think this is really important. I'm going to stop making such a big deal out of it, right? This team's super pass heavy and they're throwing this many times a game and this and that. That stuff can change pretty quickly. And the 49ers have run the ball a little bit better. Obviously, the Giants have a terrible run defense, but 24 pass attempts today. They just ran the entire second half, basically. Chargers are doing the same thing recently. So maybe you have to look at score and game script and all that. But yeah, that if they're going back to the old 49ers ways where they're one of the lowest pass rate teams in football, then we could have some issues here because Pearsall's not even back yet.
Well, and we've had, I guess, 3 games and a little over a quarter, and his season high in catches is 4. And the yak has just disappeared.
I don't know. Personally, the yak is the thing I'm least worried about, right? It's not that many catches to even really have a good sample size, but it's McCaffrey's offense. First, second, third, and fourth. It's McCaffrey's offense. I don't know. I mean, look, no one's dropping George Kittle, but Gadsden or Kittle rest of the season?
Kittle.
I'll still say Kittle, but it's getting pretty close now.
I want to see what it looks like when Purdy's back. Yeah. And look, their defense played well today, even though they gave it 24 points. Like, this is not a great defense based on the injuries. I know Robert Saleh is going to make some things happen because he's a smart defensive coordinator, but they just lost another lineman in this game, another pass rusher in this game. Like, they may improve coming out of the trade deadline if they can find some help there. I just think they're going to get scored on, and then we start to see a little bit more volume for the pass attack.
Sure. Yeah, that's the hope. I feel like Kittle's like Quentin Johnston. They're not going to let him have too many bad games in a row, right? They'll get him involved. I hope anyway. I got to tell you, honestly, I can't believe Jackson Dart is doing this. They didn't have their right tackle today. Their backup right tackle was horrible. He scored 30 points. I mean, it's
without 200 yards passing.
Yeah, it's incredible what he's doing. And he made some amazing throws. And Theo Johnson cannot catch. Wandale had a bad drop. It's pretty. I don't even know what to say. He's really good.
Imagine this guy next year with a healthy Malik Neighbors, a fortified offensive line, probably a new playbook and a new play caller, and maybe some additional help at wide receiver. Could be one of the very best quarterbacks in fantasy.
Would you rather have Wandale Robinson or Parker Washington?
I'm ready
Parker
to
Washington
move
right
to
now.
Parker Washington.
I'd probably still stick with Wendell.
Just a loyal guy to those Giants. All right, let's go to our next game. Parker Washington's game. Overtime thriller. Last week, I think it was the week that was just horrible, right?
Yep.
Sunday.
Yeah,
game
there
was-
weren't a lot of big games or close games.
What a
last
week this was. 30-29, Jacksonville over Las Vegas at the buzzer, basically.
You should stash Geno Smith for week 11. You're actually going to want to start him again.
For week 10 or 11?
Next week's week 10, right?
Yeah.
Not next week. They
You
play
don't
the
want to start him week 10.
Oh, got Dallas.
They play the Cowboys in week 11.
At Denver next week, Dallas in week 11. You should stash him for week 11. Believe it or not.
I don't think you have to do it. I don't think there's going to be much demand for him, like, even though he's playing Dallas.
Well, I would guess that next Tuesday morning, we're going to be talking about Geno Smith as the top quarterback at a week from this Tuesday.
He could get benched if he has a terrible game against Denver.
A week from this Tuesday?
Yeah.
So going into week 11, yes, we will be talking about him as a quarterback at.
So if you got an extra roster spot, just stack him because he's going to be a top 12 quarterback.
It's a good call if your quarterback situation sucks, so get ahead of it. Dallas clearly is not the best defense, as we know well aware. And you brought this up, Heath. Let's see what Geno looks like. When we were talking about the Jaguars DST, let's see what Geno looks like with a healthy Brock Bowers. And this is now 2 solid outings from him. Week 1 against the Patriots, which we know that defense is now much better than. I know they weren't at full strength at that point because Christian Gonzalez wasn't there, but they're clearly a good defense, and that was in New England. And then now you get this game, and so he sort of, even if you want to count the week 3 game when Bowers wasn't 100%, that was a big throwing game for Geno, over 30 fantasy points in that one. So when he has Bowers, he gives you the opportunity to produce at a above average level, but will it be consistent enough? And look, he may have success against the Broncos next week if Surtain's not there, and just go
Bowers is, maybe.
Oh, live from our studios in Mount Kisco, New York. It is time for America's 35th favorite fantasy football related game show. It is time for Who Has More? Yeah. Who has more games this year with more than 30 fantasy points and 6-point per passing touchdown leagues? Geno Smith or Josh Allen?
Geno Smith.
This sounds like a tie.
It's Geno Smith. The theme song for the show is longer than the show itself. Okay, let's talk about.
I'm just going to say this moving forward. Every time you give us a who has more, that's a tie. I'm going to say the F word.
Oh, the F! Wow.
Wait a minute. Say the question again. Who has more 30-point games?
Teams with more than 30 fantasy points. Geno
is a
Smith or
tie.
Josh Allen?
Geno Smith in week 3 and week 9. Josh Allen in week 1 and week 9.
He didn't do it today, did he?
30.8 fantasy points.
Crap.
Jamie, what do you have to say about that? What do you have to say about that, Jamie?
I thought he had 29 today. I thought he had 29. Oh, man. Yep, 30.8. You were absolutely right.
Budger.
All right.
Marvin tie.
Give me a quick thought on Travis Etienne. Really nice game today. 22 carries, 84 yards, 5 catches for 31 yards, but he did not score the touchdown. Is he a must-start guy in your opinion?
Yes. When was he not a must-start guy?
Well, he had 3 terrible games.
Don't play the box scores from previously. When were we not starting him?
We've been starting him every week.
Yes.
I don't think he's a must-start guy. I mean,
what?
That's because I don't think.
Well, okay. Little context. They face the Texans next week.
Yeah, I think that's a time where
He's still starting. Who's not starting him though?
I think you're still starting him.
You're overrating him a little bit.
No, I'm not overrating him. There's a difference between rating him and starting him.
Well, I think we
do rankings every week. He's not going to be ranked in the top 12. I can tell you that right now. But you're still starting him.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think there are as many must. My definition of must start is usually a little narrower than most people. It's like you don't even ask is must start.
I don't think he's a must start guy.
Fair.
That's exactly what I said. And you're
starting fantasy running back.
I said must start. I didn't say starting.
I think there were 3 guys in that range this week, like in my rankings, maybe back to back to back, and it was Kimani Vidal, Travis Etienne, and Tyrone Tracy. And I think I know which one I'd rather start next week.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Next
He had
game.
a great half. The second half was much better than the first half.
Rams 34, Saints 10.
Oh, can you play the sound for Alvin Kamara? Believe it or not, Rashid Shaheed is a high-end number 3 wide receiver with Tyler Shuck. He was the most targeted receiver by Shuck when Shuck came in relief. He was the most targeted wide receiver this week.
What about when he's the second wide receiver in Pittsburgh or Buffalo or wherever he gets traded to on Tuesday?
Then you might be better than Chris Olave still.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything good in this offense anymore. Jawan Johnson had a good game, so maybe at tight end you've got some double digit.
Shaheed had like 0.3 fewer points than Johnson on 5 more targets.
Yeah, position difference though, I think.
Right.
I mean, look, I don't think you're wrong, Heath. I just don't think Shaheed's staying in New Orleans. He to me is one of the most tradable players that we're going to see. One of the players who's most likely to get traded.
Somebody's in chat's going, what's wrong with Kyron? Oh, yeah, 25 carries, 114 yards, and a touchdown. I'm not really
He's not scoring enough.
That's the perfect comment for Kyron Williams.
Yeah, see, Kyron Williams, it has felt a little weird for Kyron Williams because you are seeing a lot more Blake Corum than what we're used to.
Because they're always winning by 3 scores in the second half.
But even still, like before this game, the carries had been down for 4 straight games as they got Corum more involved. But he still going into this game was RB10 per game. So when I asked about is Travis Etienne a must start, I could see Etienne and Kyron, being similar, but to me, I'm pretty much never considering sitting Kyron Williams.
Would you consider trading Kyron Williams because there's a window that's open and a schedule coming up that's really tough?
I tried to make Jamie 2 trade offers this week on the air. He is lucky he didn't accept either one. I remember Tucker Kraft for Ibuka and Kyron for Drake London.
The league that we made a trade in, I was offered Tucker Kraft for Quinshon Judkins. I'm glad I did not make that one.
So Dave, let's talk about that, right? So upcoming, it's San Francisco, Seattle, Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You get Seattle again in week 17.
Yep.
16,
Detroit the week before that. It's a difficult schedule for him. And I depends on the makeup of your team. If he's your best running back and you don't want to lose him, then I totally get it. But I think he's going to have some tough games moving forward.
All right.
His name is coming up on Wednesday.
Kansas City 28, Buffalo 21. Final game to talk about.
Oh, what is there to say about this one?
So did Allen have 29 or 30?
30.
So it was tied.
It was a tie.
Man, is like Xavier Worthy is not droppable, is he?
Xavier Worthy or Parker Washington rest of season.
I mean,
as Wayne and Garth would say, Xavier Worthy.
They would say we're not worthy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't feel good starting him.
108 receiving yards in 3 games with Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
And they tried. I mean, Mahomes tried today to give him a big game.
I didn't think he looked very good.
No.
Who didn't look good?
Worthy. It didn't seem like he helped Mahomes out very much.
He has one game this year with more than 11.1 PPR points.
I don't think he's droppable in a 12-team league. He is droppable in a 10-team.
I don't know if he's startable in a 2 wide receiver, 1 or 2 flex league.
Does anyone care that James Cook has 1 catch in his last 4 games?
No.
Okay.
He had almost the exact same stat line as Kyron, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty close. Kyron had 0 catches.
But he had a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right.
Starter sit Keon Coleman next. No, just kidding. All right. Well, that's it for
Starter
this game.
sit Dalton Kincaid.
Must start guy next week.
Of course. Shakir and PPR.
Still a number 3 receiver.
Mm-hmm. Shakir or Worthy in PPR rest of season?
Shakir.
It's not. I don't think that's close right now.
Yeah. I don't love either one, but I think Shakir's probably the right answer.
Definitely Shakir next week.
All right. Pretty weird that Patrick Mahomes scored 10.5 fantasy points in this game. That is disappointing. And Kareem Hunt had the touchdown. He was started in 69% of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is it for today's show. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. And
I flub and hate you.
That not as much as I hate
Who, do you hate Adam as much as the Bengals offense hates their defense?
That was incredible.
They hate them.
Well, it was funny because the broadcaster, I forgot who it was, after the Bengals scored to take the lead after the onside kick and all that, they were like, I've never seen a defensive collapse like this before. And I'm thinking to myself, just wait till what you're about to see, right?
But the crappy part about this is, even if they tackled Loveland, they're in field goal range.
Yeah.
Fringe. Like, all right on the booze of what, the 35-ish?
Well, he still had more time.
Yeah. Totally. I thought, I think you could even wonder if Loveland should have just slid down at the 5-yard line or something.
I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know what's happening in tonight's game, but Heath and I are in potentially midst of an epic fantasy game where I went up after the 4:00 games. I was up on him by 100 points, but he has so many guys still left.
Most of them are tomorrow night. I have Dak, Lamb, McBride, and Bam tomorrow night.
Yes. So far I got 5 points out of Ken Walker tonight. He's got 1.9 out of Deebo Samuel. And I'm just going to watch as he slowly ruins my day tomorrow.
He had Drake London, Colston Loveland, Michael Pittman, Kyle Monangai, and Drake May.
Oh my gosh. And you might lose with that?
I had Brock Bowers.
Oh. Yeah. He's going to have a good second half. Hopefully it's not too little too late. By the way, I just wanted you to know, Heath, that I did send this exact text to my Giants group text today. Must be Halloween because Daniel Jones turned into a pumpkin today. So
he did it afterwards. That's not allowed. He did it last week.
Giants text with you.
Adam and Schneier.
Adam London.
Yeah.
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 So it's
a
CBS colleague Giants text trio.
Yeah, it's a pretty angry group text. Have a great day, everybody.
How would you describe that, Jamie?
No, please.
We have a Guillotine League group text, and somebody complained about something, and Nando is our spokesman for the Guillotine League group text, and he responded as you and started just cursing at everybody, making fun of them.
Okay. Oh, man.
Sounds right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy Football
Use
Today.
the F word if you'd like me to repeat it.
No, that's all
I would.
Goodbye. Thomas, please end the show.